Welcome to the New Creators Podcast, episode 20.
Not 21. It's not 21.
Not 21, because the last one was 19.5.
Yes.
This is, I don't know if it's exact, but this is roughly the 1 year anniversary of TNC.
Wait, really?
Because if you think about it, because I started TNC my first year, we started TNC my freshman year of college, and I'm starting my sophomore year now. So I don't know if this is exactly the 1 year anniversary.
When did the
really close?
So when did the first episode drop? Because that would be kind of roughly, I guess, when
it might have been later in the year. I'm not sure. I may be wrong over this.
Yeah, but still, we're not too far off. I think New Creators, introductions, October 2022. So yeah, not too far off. And also, we actually started planning it before then, anyway. So
that's true. Yeah. So this is roughly 1 year of TNC, which is like mind blowing to think about. That's I don't know. That's pretty cool.
Considering most of us end our considering most of our projects die way before a year, that's pretty impressive, I'd say.
Yes, very true. Very true.
Rest in peace, mod chat. I'm just bringing it up. I'll bring it up anytime I can. Rest in peace. It was such a time to be alive.
So true. Yeah, that was a good time. But so we're kind of just going to be covering some very basic tech news and stuff. But the main thing we're going to be doing is kind of looking at how has TNC changed since we started it, because we started it almost a year ago now, which is kind of mind blowing.
Cool. Indeed.
Right?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Surreal,
Indeed.
bro.
Well, let's start by taking a look at analytics, which is generally the way we kind of kick off episodes. And, one of these days, I will actually remember to log into the podcast portal before the episode.
Oh, I'm already logged in. I'm almost there.
You know what,
Boom.
Sean? Then take us away.
All right. I have absolutely no clue where I need to navigate, though. I'm a complete dunce at it. I don't know. Let's have a look.
Sean.
I'm stumbling around the dark here. We'll figure it out. Okay, so the last episode, episode 19.5, we had 16 plays on that one, which I'm pretty happy with. I think that was a pretty good episode, if I do say so myself. I did host that one, so obviously I'm a bit biased, but You
did indeed.
Just saying. And yeah, it was a pretty good episode, I thought, personally.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
Let's have a look at our audience. Let's see. 65% is from the United States, 16% from the United Kingdom, 7% is from Australia, 1% from India.
Large percent, actually.
It is.
Kind of surprising.
I know. I'm curious. Does it have? Huh. It does. 50% from Scotland.
Hey.
And just
wait, 50?
50% of everyone from the UK who's listened is from Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Not 50% of everyone from...
I thought you were saying 50% of everyone.
50% of everyone who's listened to the podcast is from Scotland.
Wild. Okay.
Yeah, I've contacted every Scottish person in Scotland to listen to the podcast.
Oh goodness!
As you all know, I can. We also it's so small, everyone can talk to each other.
Oh boy!
But yeah, I think that's most of the stats anyway. It's probably more I could dig into, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's sick. Yeah. Nice. Very cool. Well, what have you been doing, Sean, lately?
Website stuff mostly.
Website design. Let's
Indeed.
go.
And I'm a dunce at it because I did computer science in school and stuff, but then my teachers were awful and I completely lost interest in it. So I've not done it for a while, but I finally got my own domain a while ago. I talked about it on the podcast, seanjw.com, and I've made some subdomains for my other projects. So Data now has its own website, data.seanjw.com. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It is
great. It's very good.
Thank you.
I like it a lot.
I kind of stole some of the code that you helped me with on the Taz Hangout website.
Hey, absolutely. I honestly, I don't even know. So what was your approach to this kind of scrolling animation? Was that based on, are these each individual images that you just recolored?
Yeah, so they're just recolored. They're recolored from each.
Gotcha.
So those separate images, but I just recolored them because I've made for example, all of these I already use for my Discord accounts because I have multiple. So the Oriali one's literally just a recolored version of the data gradient. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just recolored them for all these, which is pretty neat. And I had tons of
it looks pretty
links.
sick.
Yeah, and then I also made a
okay.
404 page. You can just basically, it's a wildcard, so if you put any subdomain, it should redirect you there. But if not, you can just put 404.seanjw.com to get to it. And it's just kind of like a toppled version of my Sean logo.
Of the Sean logo.
Yeah, and it links
It
you to
is
all
very
this
fun.
stuff. Yeah,
Indeed.
I was surprised. I was quite surprised at how fast I did that, because I thought it was going to be a nightmare. Because I'm a complete, like as I say, I'm a self-professed dunce at this, and yet I was able to do this in like a couple hours.
Bro, on
What?
hangout.seanjw.
Yeah,
Okay,
Micah helped me with that.
Okay, yeah, what you did there is dope.
Thank you. Well,
Wait.
like I say, I have Micah to thank for that as well.
Wait, what are you talking about specifically? Just like the way
Task
the
Hangout
scroll
website.
animation?
Yeah, because you did some of the animations, if you remember. Because you know, like if you scroll on the
right, yeah.
Yeah.
because like the Hangout thing, the underline, that was you. The
Mm-hmm.
zoom in on Music VC was you. I
Yeah.
think, and yeah, you did like a fade animation for Orialibot as well.
Yeah.
So you
I
did
think
some
Ta
of that.
SMP is the only one that doesn't have like a cool animation on it.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think it looks pretty neat as it is.
The
Anyway.
SMP looks dope though.
Yeah.
It does. We're hoping to bring
Speaking
it back,
of-
hopefully, at
speaking
least, 'cause
of,
it's been a bit
Is
inactive.
it still going?
That would be quite fun.
What was that, sorry?
Is it still going?
It is still going. It's still online, I think, but we just haven't been on it recently. I think we're planning on hopefully getting it back up and running properly. Like, actually
awesome.
active again.
Gotcha. Very fun.
But yeah, that's
Very
what I've
nice.
been working on.
Very cool. I have not been doing a ton. I've been
I'm going to
mostly
guess.
prepping for
Can I
school.
guess? Can I guess? Because we've been talking about this like all week. You've been listening to Hosier 24/7, but we'll get to that. But I just thought I'd say
We will get to that. Indeed. Yeah, Hosier's released a new album, and I've been absolutely obsessed with it. As in, like 8+ hours of listening to it in the last like 3 days since it's been released. But we'll talk about that later. And I've successfully moved back to college, so I'm back to college, and I start classes on Monday. So I'm taking some interesting classes. I have to take statistics. I'm taking a class called Programming and Problem Solving, which is for my computer science major. So I'm excited to see kind of how this semester plays out. But haven't been doing a lot of content creation. Mainly been kind of catching up with friends and stuff like that. So,
nice.
but it's been solid.
And we'll get to see the CAF app in actual use now. Okay, it's been obviously
Yes.
not being in use since until now, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, I can. I'll actually, you know what? Actually, I should talk about that a little bit more right now. So the one of the main things I added over this summer was the fact that like you can now like rate individual foods at the CAF instead of just like giving like the meal like an overall rating. And so now
Really?
there's like individual ratings for all the foods, and you can see like which foods you probably should and shouldn't get. But what I'm actually doing is after every meal, all this data, it goes into an archive. And so my eventual plan is to have like a data visualization of like food popularity over time and stuff like that. That'll hopefully be able to be used as like, I don't know, like a senior portfolio project or something like that for my degree, or for like something I can present to the school. So,
Nice.
which at the moment is very out of my range because I am not a data analysis person. I've never been good at that. But I'm going to figure out how to do it and do it.
My experience in like stats and like charts and that is like making them in Excel. That's my extent. I'm good at making them in Excel. Anything else, don't ask me.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah. I would say that's basically where I am at this point too. But yeah, but we're going to see, because I'm excited to see how this turns out. But for now, it's more of just, I'm kind of like waiting, like before I build anything like that, I'm kind of just like waiting for data to accumulate. But so far, reception's been pretty good. I have analytics set up on this site, and I can see there's about 500 or so active users this week, which has been
That's
solid,
pretty
so
good.
I'm excited. And I'm also about to start my Instagram ad campaign for this. It'll essentially like, it's gonna be like, if you rate the CAF app, you'll be entered, and if you rate the CAF, I still don't know entirely how I'm gonna set it up. Something about if you rate the CAF app, or if you like share the CAF app on Instagram, then you'll be entered to win CAF app stickers. So I don't know. It's stupid little thing, but it's people like stickers, and it's a good way to increase engagement. So
Can I get some stickers just for fun?
I'm gonna ship you stickers all the way Scotland.
Bro, do it. We'd appreciate it.
I'll stick them on my forehead every time we record.
Yes.
I'll be a walking billboard for the cat app.
Forehead reference.
Yep.
Forehead reference.
Hell yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, but aside from that, again, not doing a ton, kind of catching up with friends, kind of getting used to stuff, and preparing for classes tomorrow morning.
Nice.
Oh man, that's gonna be so awesome for you.
Yes.
Good school starting, man.
Indeed. Ethan, what about you? What have you been working on?
Oh, being completely honest, I have been mainly up to working the gig, with DoorDash and Walmart delivery, and that's pretty much that. Other from that, I've been watching crap tons of YouTube, and found this dope documentary from The Verge about you guys know what the Apple Lisa is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. So that's the basis of this documentary, right? And The Verge actually came over to where I am right now in Logan, right? Good old USU. And they did this whole I'll send it in the Discord, and you guys can just watch that. About how this guy, Bob Cook, he ran this dope company, and they just sell refurbished or secondhand Apple computers.
Nice.
And yeah, so he's the guy that I know, and so Apple sent him all these computers and everything, and then they came out and buried them. They just wanted them back.
Typical Apple there.
So
Now let's bury these computers in the ground.
Yeah, so they're at the Logan landfill right now, and they went out and showed you where it is. So that was kind of dope to see.
Interesting.
Nice.
I would say that's only a 30-minute long video, so I might watch that. That looks interesting.
It does.
It's so cool.
No joke, the amount of stuff we've used in The Verge is insane. Pretty much most of the articles that we reference are from The Verge.
The Verge is just great. I love The Verge. They do all in all pretty solid, good reporting.
Yeah.
They do
Sponsor
though.
us.
I'm please.
They have their own podcast. I think we're a competitor.
Oh, whoops. Don't sue me then.
Don't sue Sean. Or no.
No,
sue Sean. Don't sue Sean. Don't sue the podcast. That's the rule.
Yeah.
We've established that I'm the one you're gonna sue if
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I still remember that. What episode was it? I think it was episode 2, and it was that's when we first said the joke, and then Micah just gave out your email address and sent all complaints to this email address.
Isn't it Ethan at Ekman.com?
Yup. And I've got G Suite on it.
Me over here with Zoho Mail.
Yeah, I mean, I used that for a while, but I was like, you know what? I just want G Suite.
I would say if you can afford G Suite, G Suite's better, but
I'm
Zoho
forking
Mail
over
is the best.
the $6 a month.
You can, if you need to send complaints to Micah, it's hi@micahlinley.com. Just thought I'd
This
put
is
it
true.
out there.
For real.
And if you need to
I
send
actually
complaints
have,
to Sean, it's we don't know.
Actually, I do know, but I only know his personal email, which I'm not going to disclose
Yeah,
here.
don't dox me. Please.
Not on the podcast.
So
Not on the
Sean's
podcast.
coordinates are.
Sean's IP is.
Sean's address is.
Looks like his web agent is Chrome.
Chrome? Where do you think I am?
I don't know. I actually feel like you're using Firefox or something.
Yeah, you got that.
Boom. That's right. Nightly?
Nah, just normal Firefox production.
Okay.
I would say I don't even use Nightly. I use I use Developer Edition.
Oh, okay.
I'm just a noob. I just use the stable version.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
on the
don't.
edge like you guys.
It's like I use Firefox, but I don't use like the actual Firefox. I use
Mhm.
Dot.
Oh yeah.
Use what?
I use
Use
a
what,
browser
Ethan?
based on Firefox called Dot.
Oh,
Yeah.
you use dot browser?
Yeah.
I thought that was still in like like a barely alpha.
I don't know. I've not
Is it
heard
not?
from it from ages.
I mean, I've been on the server since 21. So
Okay. I mean, like there's like it's to the point where there's still
yeah.
not even a download on the website.
Well,
oh,
I'm
there's
waiting.
one on
Yep.
GitHub.
You have to like go to like the GitHub page and like install a. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I tried dot browser a few years ago, and
It's more polished. I'll tell you that. Like a lot more polished now.
Mm-hmm. There's a
Interesting,
browser that
okay.
I saw. I don't know if you guys have been keeping an eye on it, but it was, I think it's Arc browser. Have you seen that?
Oh,
that looks,
I
that looks
do-
really
I do
interesting.
have Arc. I do have Arc.
I'm
on my
waiting-
I
Mac.
can't get it because I don't have a Mac, so I'm waiting on the Windows version dropping, which I'm quite excited
Same
to
here.
get because I'm on the wait list for that.
Yeah,
so
I think I am as well, actually.
because that looks sick.
I have 2 emails on the wait list just in case one of them gets it first.
That is
Divide and
mildly cheating.
conquer there.
I just
That right
installed
there
dot browser. I'm
is,
about to check it out and see. See, okay, look, my dot browser is just like perpetually broken, and I don't know what it is. I can send a screenshot. It's really jank. It's like, I don't know. It's like the rendering is broken or something. I don't know. Maybe it's something with the UI scale or something. But
What did you do? Because
What have you done, Micah?
it's
What
it's
have
pretty
I
hard to
done?
break.
I don't know. Here, wait, I'll send a screenshot.
I'll
but-
see if I can download it. Let's see if I can get it to work.
But
I actually like Dot is the main browser on my Mac,
Oh wow.
and like
Huh.
the sidebar over
Interesting.
here.
I use, like I say, I use just normal Firefox on most of mine as my default. I don't even have a secondary browser nowadays. I mostly just use Firefox.
Like,
yeah,
it's so nice
I
to
probably
just
should.
swipe.
I really should, but I don't know. I
Yeah.
really should, but I just as a developer, like Chrome is just easier. I like Chrome's dev tools more than I like Firefox's. I think they're
Chrome,
easier.
boo,
and
boo.
Arc is based on Chrome, so
I know. I've also just given up on.
Besides, we all know
on
you're a closeted
privacy
Edge
stuff.
user anyway. We've established that a few episodes ago.
Oh, I hate Edge.
That's what you tell us, but it's true. You secretly use Edge. We all know it. How are
I
the,
don't
how are
know
all
the last
bookmarks
time I've
in
opened
there?
Edge.
There's bookmarks. Who adds bookmarks to
they're
Edge?
synced. I'm telling you, they're synced. It's
Yeah, you
synced.
have to press the button to sync it, so you still chose to do
still
that.
use it.
I'm a web developer. I have to use.
No,
Edge
you
to-
don't.
I have.
It's
Of
just
course
based
you
on
do.
Chrome.
I know, but it is no. So that's a funny thing. So like Edge is yeah, it's just Chrome, but like it is listed like on. So like when I worked this summer at Speak Creative at the marketing company,
Oh yeah,
I was like required, like it was a step in the process. Like once you'd added a feature, you had to test it in Safari, Firefox, Chrome, and Edge, each individually. I'm like, well, why do I not have to test it in like the other Chrome forks? Like, I was like, I don't know. It's funny because again, Edge is Chrome, but
yeah.
whatever.
I just sent this in the chat. Mine is also broken to the dot browser, so
yeah, it may be just broken on Windows permanently.
yeah, it
but-
must be because
I'd be
I've
interested to know
never
if there's, like,
installed the
a-
browser on this machine, so it was a complete clean install. But oh well.
Yeah, huh? Interesting.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, on my Mac
Well-
it seemed to work.
Huh, interesting.
So what you're telling us is we need to get a Mac. Darn.
Pretty much, yeah.
Absolutely not. Couldn't tell you.
I'm like,
True.
yeah, I have one. I have one. Since I
Fair
got the
enough.
Surface,
Well,
I don't really
let's
use
run
it.
over some quick news articles that we've seen lately. So we have Microsoft holding this special Microsoft event on September 21st, which is weird because
I think it's gonna
are they
be-
trying to generate hype about Surface? Because if they're doing that, then I don't know if that's possible. They
Considering
can generate
all-
hype about Surface.
Considering what Microsoft's doing right now, I can fully imagine it's all just AI. They'll just say, is all an AI thing, because that's what they've been really banking on right now. They're literally putting it into everything. Because I think Office, it's not even called Office now, it's called Microsoft 365. It's got a Copilot. Windows 11's getting a Copilot.
Am I the only one who thinks Windows Copilot is like the worst idea ever?
Yes, I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
I think I posted this on Wastestuff. I said I don't need Copilot because I know how to use my PC. I don't need like a AI to help me use it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
even
they're
then, like,
gonna make it AI, but I kind of want just a Clippy V2.
I agreed. They should have called it Clippy.
Let's add ChatGPT to Clippy, please.
Yes.
And have him increase his sarcasm level to like just like unbearably sarcastic GPT for Clippy. Like, please give us that, Microsoft.
And I want him to really at the most inconvenient times turn up on your desktop and just insult you. I think that would be amazing.
I think that'd be hilarious. Yes.
I think that would get more. I think I'll get more people on Windows 11.
I think it would. I agree.
You're welcome, Microsoft. I fixed your company.
So true. Oh boy. Yeah. So that we don't really know much about that, but we might be able to have a TNC episode after that event and kind of figure out what is happening.
Yeah.
Or we could even we've mentioned a few times considering doing something like doing like a special TNC live during these events. So keep an eye on the TNC YouTube channel. There's a possibility, depending on how interesting this looks, if we get more information closer to the event, if it looks like it could be interesting, then we might do some live coverage of that.
Yeah, I'm hoping at least maybe to do it for the Apple event for like the new iPhone.
Yeah, when is that?
Yeah.
Is that
it's
that's
not been
also
announced
September,
yet?
right?
I don't think. Probably September though. But it's not been announced yet. I don't think. I've not heard.
Let's see here. Apple events, Apple.com. WGC 2023 already happened actually. So let's see.
But I don't think they've
scheduled.
announced like the special Apple event yet for the iPhone. So we'll just have to wait.
No.
But it shouldn't be too long now. Okay, it usually is September time, I think.
There are theories that it's going to be September 12th.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, that's where we're thinking.
I'm just waiting for USB Type-C.
For real. USB-C on iPhones is going to be revolutionary.
Yeah. We're finally coming to like the modern era.
Indeed.
Honestly, though, yeah.
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 It's just, yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
We,
like family be able to use USB-C accessories. Like,
I know. It's going to be amazing. You can finally actually use like everything.
Even just without like the accessories and stuff like that, just the fact that I won't have to carry, like in my car right now, I have two chargers. I have a USB-C charger for my own phone, and then I keep an Apple charger in my glove box just for like all my friends who have iPhones, so they can charge their phones when they're in my car.
And let's just say, Lightning sucks. Lightning is horrible.
Awful. Yeah, it's bad. So, USB-C iPhone or portless iPhone. We're pretty sure it's USB-C though.
Yeah.
Coming in September probably. So, but yeah, we'll have. I think we'll try to do some sort of live coverage on something related to this within the next few months.
Fingers
because there's
crossed.
a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
We also have just moving on. We have some controversy going on with Linus Tech Tips, which is a big tech YouTube channel. If you haven't heard of it, there's been a lot of stuff like dropping just like in the last like it's only been like 2 weeks.
I think it's been only like a week pretty much. It's
maybe
barely
only
a week. I think like this week.
One YouTube, so it kind of started from what I understand with one YouTube channel kind of pointing out some inaccuracies and some kind of like sketchy looking data in various videos from Linus Tech Tips.
Yeah, and a few of them. Yeah.
And it's escalated to the point of we have allegations of like potential sexual assault, and so we don't know where any of this is going, but we are in fact aware of it, and it's we're keeping an eye on it. It is kind of disappointing to see it doesn't go down the drain like this, because it is like if you are on tech YouTube at all.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's
you're aware
like
of it. Even
it's
if you're
like-
not, honestly, it's like they show up in, like they show up on front page of YouTube all the time.
Oh yeah,
So
like I'd say they're like the same kind of level as IncubateHD in terms of popularity. Like even people who aren't techie watch, LTT usually. But who knew the biggest thing Linus ever dropped was the entire company?
oh
Wow.
I saw that joke somewhere else, and I thought that's absolute fire. I need to say it.
yeah,
But
that's a
yeah.
pretty good one.
That is a pretty
But,
good one.
It's a
yeah.
great
So
one,
hopefully,
yeah.
I have nothing but good wishes for that company.
Oh yeah, there's tons of great
so
people there. So fingers
there are,
crossed it
so
all gets
I
sorted.
hope everything. Yeah, I hope everything gets sorted out pretty soon. So,
Well, Mike,
but
I
they
was
are
over
they
here
are
and, like, they started
potentially the
labs,
most.
and then all that's happened.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it was wild because at the start of the week it was completely just any other week, and then by the end of the week they've stopped their production stopped everything. It's complete gridlock now.
Yeah, it's been interesting. So we'll see how that all shakes out. We also just kind of wanted to talk about over the last few months or so. We're seeing like what I think is the gradual decline of subscription services. I think in general, and like the fact. So we have like a bunch of different factors here. We have Disney Plus raising its price, which I mean already it wasn't great, but now like their lowest plan is like $8 a month with ads. If I'm remembering correctly.
Imagine paying
Which
money and
is-
still getting adverts, man. That's insane.
No. Wait. Is this Surely not. Hold up. Wait.
Wait, let's see what it's like in the UK.
No.
Does-
$9.99 a month with ads.
Seriously?
So if you want it without ads, you have to pay $20 a month.
Yeah.
That's insane. I'm sorry. That's awful. Especially considering the quality of content that Disney's putting out right now, which is like not good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Holy
just
cow.
like we had it for a while because we had like a bundle and it came with it for free for like 3 months, and we literally never used it. I think we used it once, and it was like a horrible show. We never finished it. It's just there's nothing there unless like you're rewatching everything that they've already made prior to Disney Plus being like launched. I don't see the point in it. I really do not get the point of Disney Plus.
Yeah. There have been a few like of the Disney Plus like original shows, like the Marvel and Star Wars shows that have been like decent, but like the only thing that I would like get Disney Plus exclusively for would probably be The Mandalorian, which is just like excellent quality show. But like it's not worth $20 a month. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
Wait. The $20
But
a
not-
month is for all three. No, for just
Yes,
no
but
ads,
I don't
it's
think
like-
you can get just Disney Plus at this point.
No, you can.
Oh wait, there it is. Yeah, Disney Plus. Sorry.
It's
Okay.
so different in the UK for us.
$10.99. Sorry, $11.99 a month. Oh wait, so what is it in the UK?
So in the UK, it's $7.99 at the moment, and that's because we don't get Hulu. We don't have Hulu
Without
in
ads?
the UK. Without
Wait,
ads.
okay, wait. So if you switch, so just Disney Plus Premium?
I
with
think.
no
Well, I don't
ads?
know about premium, but I think the baseline subscription $7.99. Obviously, I think it goes up.
And then
I still don't
But the
have
thing is, I
ads
think the
free.
reason it's cheaper is because we don't have Hulu. You don't get Hulu bundled in.
But we're also seeing Disney Plus start to follow Netflix and explore paths towards preventing password sharing, which I mean, again, I understand. I kind of sympathize with these companies because they've got to make revenue, and if everyone's sharing their passwords, then you're gonna have reduced revenue. However, the way that Netflix has implemented it is really strange, and I
Yeah.
don't trust Disney to do any better than Netflix did.
Well, it's like it actually is detrimental to an actual paying customer because like if you're like on holiday, you have to like set up a whole like I think it's like you have to get like it's not like an option where you have to set it and you get like access
Yeah.
for 2 weeks, and then if you don't go back to the original like Wi-Fi that it was like set up on, it just locks you out and you cannot get into it. And it's like that's just ridiculous. So basically, you're locking off people who are paying for your service.
Yep.
You know, it's like
So I don't see that getting better.
no.
Like I think Disney Plus will probably be just as bad as Netflix
Yeah.
is about that. So I'm not Oh, not looking forward to that. Then we also just have like companies like Spotify who are adjusting their Spotify premium prices. So the new premium prices are for a single like 11 or for a single Spotify premium user, $11.99 a month.
$11.99. It's $10.99 changing here. It was $9.99. It's going up to $10.99.
Interesting. So it's
stuff's just cheaper here, man. Maybe you should move here to Scotland. It's cheaper here.
That sounds nice. But yeah, so and the student plan I went from $4.99 a month to $5.99 a month. So again, none of this is like, oh, end of the world, end of streaming.
Yeah.
But it's just gradually like we're seeing that these companies are struggling to make revenue and having to go through these things that are like hurting their users. So it makes me wonder like what is causing all of this all at once. I mean, obviously some of it is inflation because U.S. inflation right now is through the roof. It's really bad.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
But again, we're also seeing like just a lot of changes that companies are having to do to preserve just the scrap of revenue that they can get.
Yeah, I think from what it seems, because I don't know how accurate it is, but I have heard, I think there's like kind of like theories that maybe it has to do with the fact there's just less money going around Silicon Valley right now, mainly because most of that money is getting funneled into AI startups right at the moment, and rather than what was getting funneled into Google,
Interesting.
Facebook. And I think that's a good point because we have noticed like companies like Reddit are like they killed their API. Twitter has killed its API and is constantly changing to try and cut costs everywhere. And then you have like Meta's like doing a similar thing. I think they've done some cost cutting measures and so on and so forth. It just seems to be there's just not as much money because most of these companies, like I don't even think any of these companies have made a profit outside of Disney. But that's mainly because Disney makes stuff outside of the tech sector. Like they obviously make most of the money from like theme parks. But for like companies like Spotify, I don't think they've ever pretty much been like profitable ever, or if they have, it's not barely anything.
Not significantly.
Yeah, because the idea is like to gain as much market share as humanly possible, and then make money after that. But the problem is, it seems to not be working out for a lot of these companies. From what it seems to me, that's my game theory on the whole thing. Yeah,
no, that's all reasonable. But I always just think it's interesting how. I always think it's interesting to see like how these services are having to change the way they operate.
I've been seeing a comment. I've been seeing this comment around. I think it's a good comment. Is like people are saying if piracy is more convenient to the user than a paid option, then obviously people are going to start pirating stuff. So that's the problem right now. Netflix and all these other things used to be better than piracy, so people paid for it because it was more convenient, it was legal, so on and so forth. But now Netflix is actually harder to use than just pirating something a lot of the time, if you have the know-how. Obviously, I thought I'd say, TNC does not endorse piracy. Do not pirate stuff.
Do not sue the podcast. Sue
TNC
Sean.
does not endorse fmovies.2.
No.
What's that?
We're gonna bleep that out in the final recording.
I hope you're like TNC does not endorse.
Just the entire thing's just silence.
Yeah. It would be funny.
That would be funny. I think didn't we make a joke like before we even started the podcast that if someone sweared to someone by accident, we just have the scratch cat like sound effect play on top of it. That'd be funny.
That was the plan originally when we started out kind of scratch adjacent, and now we're
that was a nightmare.
Interacting. That was a nightmare because I don't know if we ever explained this either. This is kind of a transition into the into our main topic, which is like how has TNC evolved since we founded it a year ago. On the TNC Scratch profile,
there's
uploading episodes. There's only one episode on the profile,
and it's the worst one. Let's be honest.
It is the worst one. But it's just it was so hard to put on there because of the Scratch file size limit. So like first the audio had to be heavily compressed because it's like a little more than an hour of audio if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And it had to be split into these multiple little clips.
That was
in order to upload. And so I had to in Audacity programmatically like split it into multiple clips, order the clips by file name, then upload all, like it was like 47 clips I had to upload to Scratch, and then like play those in sync, and like the whole process took me like I don't know, it was a long time, but also I apparently didn't compress the audio enough, and so like loading the project page, even on like
let me try
really fast
loading it.
Wi-Fi, it takes like far too long. Like
I can feel the slowness there.
Yeah.
So,
So
amazing.
yeah, there was also like there was no like the idea for this was kind of inspired by the Scratch Running podcast, which kind of served as an inspiration to a lot of the way TNC operates. But they have like a whole like really well designed like UI that has like cloud data, and it has like reactions to the episode, and it has like a progress bar, and like it's great, it's really good. But like we did not have the resources to create that, and so it's literally like a static backdrop that would play the audio, and it was just a mess. And so we decided very soon after that we did not want to go through that again. And there's also the audience on Scratch was like really small. Like I don't even know. The first project got like 37 hearts. That's in the past, like that's since it was published, which is a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it only has like 64 followers. So it wasn't really worth the audience. So we kind of just moved on from there.
Yeah.
I think in a similar way, I think that one of the things I've learned since starting the podcast is like what we need to focus on in terms of like where we're putting it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's kind of going back to like why we stopped putting it on YouTube. Like the audience we got on YouTube was not near high enough to justify the the sheer amount of time it took to like create and render a YouTube video for like every one of those videos. Like they would take like 3 hours to render these these waveform animations for these videos, and it's always it always would receive like 10 views on YouTube, and just made it like so now that we're not doing that, that's giving me more time, or it is going to give me more time. It hasn't quite yet, but it's going to give me more time to focus on YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, just like marketing elsewhere in spots that we know we already have.
Yeah.
And so I think like just learning what to drop and when to drop it has been, I think, a valuable lesson.
Yeah, definitely. What I didn't realize was, I mentioned this to you, I think, the last week. We've been on, I didn't know this was a thing, Overcast. We've been on that since the start because we added it to Apple Podcasts and they're both linked. So I added it to Overcast. I did not know we had an Overcast. I had to add that the other day, so you can actually find us now on there if you use that app. But yeah.
Interesting. Is there a link to that on the Anchor page? Or
yeah, there is now.
Spotify for podcasters?
Yeah, that's how old this podcast is. It used to be called Anchor when we first started. But yeah, it's on that page now. If you click to like just the homepage, it'll show like the little the Overcast logo.
Gotcha. Okay.
There are other platforms we could add to, but I don't know if they may be worth it. I think it's Amazon Music has podcasting now. You can add it to
Amazon Music has been sending me emails for like 3 weeks telling me to add it to them. I'm like, okay, I'll do it at some point, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
So at some point I'll get around to that, and hopefully, I'll hopefully get around to putting it on there. But I was like, we're on anywhere that wants us, because the RSS feed is public. So like anyone that is willing to add the RSS feed. I'm also curious. I don't know if anyone is listening and you're listening from like a third-party RSS reader or Spotify, or not Spotify, or podcast listener, then let us know, or like shoot an email, or do something to let us know, because I'd be interested to know if anyone is listening like directly from the RSS feed.
That'd be interesting.
That's something that is I'm glad still exists, because I personally love RSS because I think it's like really cool. I just love like open data syndication. I think it's really cool. But,
Indeed.
But I'd be interested to know if anyone's listening from a weird place.
Yeah, that's what actually I want to talk about, because when we're thinking of this topic, I wanted to bring up how kind of like even just promotion has changed. Because I don't know if you remember, because back when I first started like our Waste of account, I initially only was posting like just announcements for like new episodes, and I was like, this is kind of boring. After a while, like, oh, they're just kind of just the announcements. So then I just started posting memes, and I think that was the best decision I've ever made on that account.
It definitely was. Yeah.
It was.
TNC memes are
more.
legendary.
Yeah. So I actually have a schedule for it. I don't think I've ever said this, but I do actually have a schedule for the account. Yeah. So the idea is on a Friday after the podcast, so like the Friday when we're off, I'll post another meme. So that's when I post the meme, and then after the podcast comes out, I'll upload the announcement saying, "Hey, there's a new episode." So that's kind of my little schedule for it. Yeah, and I've kept to it ever since, and I'm pretty happy with how the account's kind of gone. Because we have like 45 followers now, which for Waste of, that's pretty good. I'd say.
Yeah.
And
It's quite good. I need to start reposting more of those because I've got a pretty significant following on Waste Up, and if I reposted more, maybe more people would know about it. I should probably start doing that.
Yeah. We need to do more shorts as well. Like we say, we kind of talk about that. Is try and get more shorts and reels out there. I don't know if I don't know about TikTok though, because I've never used it. I have never used that.
I will not be creating a TikTok account for the New Creators Podcast.
Yeah.
I will not be doing that. Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts.
That'll
coming
do.
out soon.
That'll do.
I will not be posting on TikTok.
Yeah. But
I have too much self-respect for that, and too much self-respect for the podcast.
Yeah. Nice. The other thing I was thinking about, because I went and listened, I did the unthinkable. I went and re-listened, not the whole thing, but I listened to a little bit of the first episode, and I just want to say,
oh gosh,
we were so awkward on that episode.
I mean, we're still awkward in some of these episodes. Like our flow, like if there's one thing we can improve on, I think our flow is sometimes not the best, and I think that's something we can continue to work on. But it is infinitely better than the first episode.
Oh yeah,
we had no clue what what we should have done was we should have like had like at least like 3 or 4 video calls where we just like talked and hung out before recording like an actual episode and publishing it, because that first episode is awful.
Yeah. Okay, actually, I don't think we ever talked about this, but up until TNC like started, we had never actually spoken like over video call at all.
With the exception of like maybe one planning session. I think we had like one time where we were like, let's get together and like plan what the New Creators is going to be. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. It's really jank.
It was so jank. Episode. And it was, notice that, I'm just going to say, our microphones, Micah. Oh my god.
I know. Dude, this Blue Yeti is the best financial decision I've ever made.
Yeah, baby.
Blue Yeti. I like my Yeti Nano.
I've got the traditional Yeti.
I considered getting the traditional Yeti, and because it was on sale for the same price as the Nano, but I was like, practically, the Nano's sound quality is just about as good in a much smaller package, and I was like, I'm just gonna get the. Yeah.
I just like the look. I was like, oh, it looks cool, and it was the same price, so I'm like, I'll get it.
I just like I have mine mounted on it like on a mic stand, so I also didn't want it to be like massive.
Yeah.
So
I don't have
my mic stand is falling off my desk.
I think it goes on about, oh yeah, I've got this cool mic stand. Oh dear, it's falling off.
The problem is the bottom lip, or wait, no, not bottom lip. The back lip of my desk is like tiny. It is like very small, and it's hard to tighten the mic stand on there. I think also like the foam grip is like wearing out, but that's another thing.
Yeah.
This occurred to me the other day, and I did not know the answer. And I searched through the Discord, and I couldn't find the answer. Where did we come up with the name The New Creators Podcast? Or like who came up with that?
I thought that might be you, because you made the original. I don't know if you made the original branding, and I kind of made it like the one we currently use. I think it was you that came up with the name. I think, like, if I go to the podcast channel and have a look, like go to oldest, I could have swore it was you that made it.
Old. The contrast of a podcast. I would just say, just looking through.
Oh, here we go. So Micah, this is you. Also
okay,
thinking.
it is
so
in
I'm going to
here.
read it out. Also thinking
Okay.
about names. We initially was going to call it the Scratch Design Cast. Probably isn't a great name anymore since we all really use Scratch. I was thinking of something like New Creators or the Young Creators, since the podcast will probably end up being about design, code, and other forms of creativity. So that's where the New Creators came
And then
from.
you said new creators sounds cool. Then I said I'm working on a branding, but it was a little bit wonky for wonky.
Yeah.
What do we think about? I have an idea. What do we
Okay.
think about for this episode? So we're currently recording. What if I make the episode art this? Like these
What
old...
if actually wouldn't it be cool, right? We use the normal branding. You know how like there's a perfect square where we put the image. You could put it in that. So that means it'll be Inception because you have the current branding and you go into the original branding.
and the old brand? You know what? Let's do it.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool.
I'd still call your branding the original branding because your branding is what I think of when I think of
True.
TNC.
True.
But this is like the pre-original branding.
Yeah, this
a
is like
very
the
bad
mock-up.
concept of what it could have been.
I want to say I don't think it was bad. I just thought it kind of felt like it was a bit like I was thinking of like episode art for like each episode because I don't know how you would have
Yeah.
adapted it. So that's what I thought. We need someone that has like a way of like how you can customize it for each episode, and that's how I kind of came up with the idea for like this kind of look. I just kind of like the idea,
and I like it a lot. It looks significantly better. I like it a lot.
Yeah. It was really funny when we first started because originally the idea for when a guest was on was instead of how we have like the stack thing that says episode like 1 or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
And originally it was going to get replaced with like the episode, like the person's name that was the guest. But I'm glad we didn't do that because it would be a nightmare considering we've had like multiple guests on at once, and that would be a nightmare to try and figure out. So I think that was a bullet dodge there.
Very true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all in all, we've also like gotten better at like adapting TNC's branding to like all these different places. Like,
Yeah.
to all our different social media profiles for each different episode. I think we've done a really good job with like brand consistency.
Yeah, because I remember when we first started. I remember when we did our first TNC Live, and you made the first like design for like that to announce it. I changed it from my end, and it both looked completely different. But then we kind of both like after that point figured out, okay, we'll make it all look the same.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, because if you go to like the Instagram for it, it looks different to what I did. Because yours was like a widescreen one, and I think mine was just a square, which is the one we currently use.
Wait, look, Instagram.com/ the New Creators Podcast. Wait.
Nice subtle plug there, subtle plug.
So like, oh, you're talking about the
live announcement.
the live thing. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Because the original time you used it, it was different to what I did on the Waste of account, and then we kind of after that adapted
interesting.
it for both to make it look the same. Because that was the thing. What another thing people don't realize was when I first originally made the branding, I didn't make guidelines for it, so we kind of just like had to make it up as we go.
And we still don't have like formal guidelines.
No, I don't think we need it. It's not like that important, but I mean, we're all designers. We do kind of like consistency.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy with how the branding turned out in the end. I think it's worked out pretty well. I think most people kind of recognize it pretty well now. It's became kind of iconic. No, I wouldn't say iconic.
At least
but
I would say at least in our limited bubble of the internet, I think it's become recognizable.
Yeah. Also,
So
I hope people appreciate the fact for all the memes I've made, I use the font that we use for the logo. I hope people notice the effort.
It is quite funny. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Man, what font did we actually settle on? I keep forgetting the name of it.
It's Space Mono. Wait, is it Space Grotesque?
Space
Or
Mono.
Space
We were.
Mono?
I was thinking using Grotesque, but I like the look of Mono just for like, because like the idea was it's going to be also about coding and stuff, and I thought, oh, that would look kind of neat.
Which it hasn't been as much as we originally thought it might be.
Yeah.
Just because it's easier to find. I feel like it's easier to find.
It is.
Our little-winded bumble of the internet to find designers.
Here's a behind the scenes. You know how I've been making some GIFs now for memes? So
Yes.
I do it quick and dirty because my computer isn't good enough to render proper videos. So what I do is I use Clipchamp, right? And luckily it has Space Mono as one of the fonts. So that's how I keep that.
Oh, Okay.
So
okay.
so that was a good save there because I had no idea that it was even an option at the
You're
time.
gonna have to import it as an image.
I had to originally do that because I didn't realize it was an option.
Oh, interesting.
And it looked horrible. It was so compressed you could see the individual pixels. It would look horrible, but yeah.
What
Also,
are some things we think? Oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say before you get onto that, I was gonna say I want to talk quickly just like all the memes that we've kind of happened, like the kind of like this crazy stuff that's happened on some of the episodes. I want first to shout out the couch or the couches.
Couch.
That was amazing.
Yes.
That was hilarious.
It was so surreal.
Which inspired multiple waste of accounts.
Yeah, there's
so many memes.
Yeah, there's an
like,
account on Waste of Knowledge just called Couch.
At Couch. wasteof.money/couch.
It's so funny.
It
And
is
like,
great. I love it so much.
I also love when Burrito, who's a user on Waste Stuff, he also posted the other couch. So like, I had the original couch, and then there was a second couch. And it's like, there's another couch. it was like the ultimate revelation. It was so good.
I mean,
that was
coming down, just coming back to like the memes that you made about the couch. Like,
yeah, I was very proud
hilarious.
of those, and it was just so great because I was like, it was that time when Waste Stuff came together just to do that one meme. It was great.
I would also love to just go back and appreciate that moment from TNC Live when Ethan just like doxed himself in front of the entire world with like his like credit card information. Because that
was so
is
funny.
still like the funniest like minute and a half of my life.
It was our reaction. I thought sold it because we were like, you were going like, Ethan, no, stop.
I was, and he was not stopping. So,
It was so wild.
I'm like,
Honestly,
I don't even know if I realized I was screen recording then.
no, because you're
Well,
like
you didn't
was I?
think you forgot that it was live. You forgot they were
Yeah.
streaming it.
Yeah, you thought
yeah.
we were just recording an whole episode, and you were just like, I can show you my credit card number. I'll be fine.
I love it. That's the level of trust we've got over here.
We're just like, yeah, here's my social security number. You know, that's the kind of level we're on here at the TNC podcast. And the other meme I want to quickly bring up, our other mascot, which is, of course, Blimp. I want to give a shout out to Blimp because I forgot to mention
I'm
this.
still sad I missed that episode. I've listened to it like twice. It's a great episode, but I listen to the New Curious podcast like probably more than I should. Like, but I find it kind of fun. I kind of find it fun to like overanalyze the episodes and kind of like think about what we can do better, and that's it. I think
Yeah. But it was great because I forgot to mention this. After we recorded the last episode, 19.5, I actually remembered and I asked Corbin, does he still have it? And he does. He showed me it's still there in the same place.
Amazing.
And
I need to ask now that we didn't announce it. We need to announce it. Corbin has a job at NASA. So Corbin is working for NASA now, or is moving down to work with NASA.
Yeah.
Which is like insanely cool, and we have confirmed that when he gets some time after he's kind of settled in down there, that he's going to be able to come on the podcast again as someone who is working with NASA, which is absolutely sick.
That is so cool.
And come and kind of talk to us about what he's doing for them, which is mind-blowing that we're able to have people as cool as Corbin come on the podcast. And
Indeed. I know. Actually, should we quickly talk about like the guests we've had on, like kind of briefly? Because obviously we've had Perrin and Corbin on quite a lot of times. They're great guests.
Perrin a ton. We've had Perrin on.
We've had Perrin a lot of times. He's been on I think he's been on more episodes than I have at this point. It's ridiculous.
He's like our go-to backup.
Yeah. No joke. He actually is. It's pretty funny. But it's great.
I'm pretty sure he likes that. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm glad that he's so open to come on. He's been a ton of help a lot of episodes.
Yeah,
we've had who else have we had?
We've had I think our first guest was Perrin. Our second guest
like it was Perrin.
Our first guest was Perrin. Our second guest was Judah, I believe, was it not? Oh no, that was
no,
it was Porkin. Which, and again,
Porkin?
he's been on quite a few episodes, and I want to give him a shout out specifically because he was on an episode with just me. He had to he was the only person I could talk to,
man.
which was like, so I felt so bad for him because like obviously he's shy because it was his first time on the podcast, and it was like I had to try and keep the conversation going, and he was a champ. He did really well in that episode. I think
he did. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it that episode.
It was, and it was great to record with him, and he's been on a few other times after that, and he's great. I'm hoping to have him on again at some point because he's a great guest. And then who was it after that? I think it was Judah.
Had
next.
Judah after that. We
Yeah.
had Perrin and Porcan back again. We had Elsie on. We had who else? Let's see.
Oren. We had Oren on.
Oren on.
Which, by the way, I haven't had the cage match yet between you and Oren. I'm still waiting on that.
Oh boy.
And I'm still.
I think that's. Oh, and Farah, of course.
Farah, of course, our biggest fan.
Episode.
Hello, Farah, because I know you'll be
Hello,
listening to
Farah.
this.
Of course you will. Yes, thanks as always. And
like how we
yeah,
always wave.
and we're still prepping to have some more
Yeah.
guests on soon. I think the most notable guest that's on our list that we are in touch with right now is Jeff Lowe, the creator of Waste of Money. And
Indeed.
we're hoping to have him on at some point in the very near future. So
Yeah,
super
I'm
excited for
gonna
that
I'm gonna
episode.
bombard him and beg him to give me verification because it's been far too
Bro,
long. I
same.
need
Yes.
give me verification already, man. Hurry up.
Hey, but isn't there like a rule saying that if you ask, you won't get it?
Shh.
It's
Don't Disney know.
it's time to be real. I'm taking my be real on the New Creators Podcast. Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna put my hand in front of your face so you can't see your face.
I'll just hide. All right, there
Okay,
you go.
wonderful. Let's go. Okay, we're taking let's go. Podcast Be Real.
Yes, amazing.
Amazing.
And
Awesome.
that's the kind of stuff I love about TNC. Just randomly something will happen, and that we just kind of roll with it.
We just kind of react to it. Yep.
Yep,
Oh
so true.
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. But we've got Jeff Lowe is on our list. We got a lot of I think we've got a lot of people
Yeah,
that
and
we're interested in having on. I'm quite excited.
Before I quickly say then, for anyone else who's interested, please let us know. Generally, we're happy to have you on. A lot of people.
Bio.link/TNC has a link to our guest application at the very bottom.
Yep.
Highly recommend. Go fill that out if you're at all interested.
Yeah.
With your Discord tag and what you'd want to talk about and your time zone, and we will reach out to you.
And actually, I wanted to quickly say something about that because we've had a few guests like before they actually come on the podcast say like I don't know what I want to talk about or I don't think I'm interesting, and I want to say that isn't true because for example Farah, who we had on, we've already mentioned her, when before she came on she's like I don't know what we're gonna talk about, and it's like just talk about whatever, and then she came on and basically told us she does virtually everything under the sun, and it was an incredibly interesting thing to find out what she does. So just don't worry too much if you think you can't think of something, because trust me, we're just here to listen to what you do, what you're interested in. There's not like specific requirements to come on TNC. So please just let us know you're interested, and then we'll get in touch when we want to have you on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I just wanted to ask real quick. We're approaching an hour of recording time already, so I won't make this too long. But I did want to ask, what are I've talked a little bit about some stuff that I think could be better about TNC, but like from y'all's point of view, what do you think could we do to further improve TNC, improve quality of episodes or quality of marketing or anything like that? What have you noticed that can be improved?
I'm trying to think.
I
I think probably because we have had a couple of times where we've struggled to speak with guests, and with enough time to make sure they actually kind of know what to expect, and then also to make sure they know when. We've had a few times where guests have got the time wrong. I think Oren, he accidentally got the time wrong because we didn't really explain it right to him, so that was our fault. But yeah, I think communication a little bit could be better in my opinion, probably. But
yeah. We need to start storing times or episode recording times in UTC that just doesn't change instead of instead of I don't know, basing it on Central Time or
or even
EST
just
or
even
whatever.
simply just asking the person what their time zone is and then converting whatever our time is to that. Even that would work.
time.
You know,
Yeah.
just I think better communication sometimes would help. But you know,
or like even like just setting them like a Calendly like before, just so they can mark down what time they'll be able to go to.
Well, there is. So that's the thing. There is a Google Calendar for the New Creators Podcast.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that can improve that, Sean. Like if we use that more, like that is like we used that for like a few weeks, like at least like 3 months ago. But we haven't kind of used it since then. But I think that'd be a good idea to kind of do that and like ensure that we can share that we can kind of share that with guests and hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's probably other stuff if I really thought about it. But to be honest, I'm not like thinking to myself, oh, I wish we could do this, that, and the other thing. I'm more just thinking, you know, we're doing fairly well in terms. We've kind of got like a style down. We've kind of got we've got chemistry now. We're happy to have guests on. We can keep the podcast going, kind of thing. I think the biggest thing when we first started was we really struggled to like have like a conversation continue. Mm-hmm. I remember like the first episode, like I say when I was listening to it, there's so many long pauses and like awkward moments just because we didn't know how to like transition stuff or that. Mm-hmm. Whereas now it's kind of just like it comes natural now. I feel, at least for me, it does.
What I've discovered is that if there's no good transition, you just like pretend there's a good transition and then laugh about it.
Yeah. I haven't done that in a while.
It becomes a good transition.
I haven't done that in a while.
I think I did that earlier in this episode already. There's not a good transition. I kind of just like laughed it off and then just transitioned regardless.
I always remember when I used to do, like I say, I've not done it in a while, but I used to do the thing where like I do like a really clever transition, and then instead of just letting that sit there, I have to bring up like, did you see that cool transition?
That was a good transition.
I just want to say, guys, I'm really smart. I really did a good transition there.
I feel like I will just either laugh or totally just talk over the top of one of you when I want to talk about something. I'm like, oh crap, yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's partly to do with the fact we're over video call and like it takes a moment for us to hear each other. So that's probably a thing. If we were in like the same room, that wouldn't be a problem, I think. But obviously,
one of these days,
sadly,
I'm traveling to Scotland, and we're gonna record IRL.
Oh, bro, dude,
awesome.
A Scotland recording, that would be insane.
Scotland recording session.
I mean, like, as long as you're paying for the flights, like.
How? Let's see. If I wanted to get a flight to
RIP
Scotland.
to my bank account.
Christ, let's see.
Rest in
Holy
peace.
heck. Okay.
Rest in peace. You will be missed.
Oh dear, this is
how much?
Not
then?
Cheap.
Hit me with it. Just put me out of my misery.
$950. Round trip. Oh, that's actually not awful.
You would say that because you're not the one paying, are you?
No. Like we have to pay, but like, hey, that's
a great deal. I don't need to pay anything.
I'll go to Scotland for $950 round trip. I mean, I'll have to find somewhere to stay, but like that's honestly like that could be a lot worse. I mean, I don't know. That's funny, but
I'll throw you in Loch Ness.
IRL recording session. That kind of reminds me of like that point at which like we this was like years ago. Like we like had the idea of planning like a conference with all like the scratchers like in real life.
Yeah.
Like years
That's still
ago.
a thing, by the way. It's still a thing on my server. They're wanting to meet up in real life in like 2022. I think the plan was to meet up in LA for the Olympics in 2028. I think that was the plan.
In 2022, what a plan!
Yeah.
You know what? If I can afford it in 2028, and if people are actually going,
that'll be wild. That would be absolutely wild. But
I think that's an excellent idea.
Yeah. Have we ever talked about how TNC became like a thing? Like how we actually came up with it in the terms of like, because like, I think we mentioned like once, me and Ethan back when we first kind of started talking, I think in 2020 when I first joined the Discord, his Discord I think it was, we mentioned about doing our own podcast. I don't know if you remember.
No, we totally did, and then I think I talked to Micah about it too.
Yeah.
I would say the
a little
original. I think what y'all. So like what the New Creators was kind of like a brainchild of like y'all's idea for a podcast, the Ekman.Talk podcast, and and combination with that with the Scratch Design Cast, and those kind of like meshed. I feel like, and that kind of became the New Creators. As far as that's as far as I understood it.
Yeah, that was kind of how it kind of came to fruition. 'Cause initially, like I say, it was me and Ethan initially, and then you kind of got involved, which then we actually got the ball rolling, because virtually for like a couple of years, just nothing happened. I made the logo for it. I don't know if you guys remember it. It's horrible now. I hate it. But
have you seen the Scratch Design Cast logo? It is not good.
I've not seen it for a long time. I do remember the idea for it, but I've not seen the logo in like years.
It's like, oh goodness.
Let me see if I can find. Here it is. I found the Ekman.
You found it? Send.
Oh, bro,
the
send
Ekman.
it in the chat. Send it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it just now. Bada bing, bada boom.
Boom.
Boom. There you go.
If I
The
recall
thing is,
right,
oh yeah,
wasn't it?
so that was the
Yeah.
thing. So
Like,
okay, wait.
that is so illegible. You cannot read that.
I remember seeing this.
Yeah, it's in the massive like design file I
Data
have, which
font.
I post this regularly to my server just because of how it consistently gets bigger, like every so often. Like it is huge now, and it started off as like nothing. Anyway,
Yeah,
Have you
the
found-
Scratch Design Cast. I can't even find like the original branding file.
is it? Didn't it have a Scratch Studio?
Yes.
I think I can find it because on my
Oh wait,
alt account.
I would be in that.
On my alt
right?
account, I made a theme song for it, I think, and I should have it. SDC, was it? Scratch Design Cast? Yeah, I found it, I think. Wait, where is it? It's not in the...
One of you,
it's not in the studio,
send
though.
the,
Crap, it's not even. Wait, what the heck?
Wait,
I'm
hold
not
on.
even. Did I delete this? Did I delete the? studio?
No, do not tell me you've deleted the studio.
I don't
be
think
kinda
so. But
funny.
there's.
All right, I found the
Sad.
account. I found the account,
but it doesn't have a studio.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, well. Well, the logo's
Wait,
still there,
but there
though.
was. Wait, there's. I think it's got to be. I think the branding for this has to be on my alt account.
Must be.
Um,
It was so funny because so
I have
many people...
so many alt.
So
Oh,
many
here's
people
the
wanted
UI
to
for
join
it.
this. Oh wait, yeah? Can you post
I
it?
do
I
have the
don't.
UI for it. Yeah. Which, like, honestly, like the UI is actually like pretty solid, but the branding is not great. IMO. But
Bro, I look at like some of my old designs, like not even that old now, and I cringe into oblivion. It's a problem.
this is not even. This is not
I mean,
that old.
being kind of
This is
honest,
2020.
I did kind of like that logo. Like, it was a good concept.
It was okay. It was okay. The problem was the actual branding file is one of the worst things I've ever laid my eyes on. Let me just take a screenshot. It is that bad. It is so bad.
Yeah.
I
The
just,
UI
like,
is
for
pretty
colors-
good though.
Like, that was the branding file. I was like, what are those colors?
Oh, that shadow as well. Ooh,
Dude,
that's not
I know,
nice.
dude.
But
It's
the
rough.
logo's
It's rough.
like
Yeah.
isn't too bad. I could probably retcon that a little bit and get looking.
Yeah,
not
you
too
probably
bad.
could.
But
You probably could.
honestly, it's not a bad logo. I've seen much worse than that. To be
It
honest.
makes sense, but it was just not a good execution. But regardless, so that
But
was
yeah,
kind of
those
Scratch
are like the
Design Cast, and
two-
then the Ekman.Talk podcast was
Yeah, the two predecessors that brought the TNC podcast into fruition.
yeah.
It's
I'm
kind of
glad
wild.
it did because it works well together.
Yeah, it's kind of wild to think we've done this for almost a year already. I still can't really wrap my head
It
around
really
that.
is. I know, and I'm glad we have because it's been really good to, like, I don't know, it have something on, like, that's on like a schedule where I can, like, keep up with everybody.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to sound like we're too important, but I like to think we've kind of brought, like, a lot of the people from, like, Scratch, who we kind of spoke to a lot, but never really got to know all too well, like, together, because, like, we've had them on the podcast
Yeah.
and stuff. Or, like, for example, even us, because, like, we met all on Scratch originally, and then kind of eventually
I
got
would
to
say,
this
I must
point.
have met you on Scratch in like 2000.
2020,
oh
I
gosh,
think.
like 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is 3 years ago.
3 years ago
It's
now,
only,
yeah.
it's only been 3 years. I mean, that was the thing. I was aware of you when I was on at Micah LT on Scratch.
Really?
I was aware.
Is it
I
bad?
was just-
Is it bad to say I wasn't aware of you?
Oh no, it's not. No one was. I think Micah LT still has like a grand total of like 80 followers. So like, I was never popular on that account, but I do remember you from that account. So yeah, it was always kind of wild when I think back. I'm like, I don't know. It's strange. Like going from scratch to like having like a full podcast where we're like all on video call. It's like it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm actually a real person. I'm not just like a segmented D logo.
Yeah. It's like your parents always tell you like they're online, they're not real, and then like there's us who are like very much real people because I can see everyone.
Is the data in the room right now?
Oh, but yeah, it's solid.
Stranger danger.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like when I first started doing TNC, like I didn't tell my parents that I was doing it because like I got, y'all know I was on Discord. And like my parents kicked me off Discord when I was in like
which brought us to mod chat. Which brought
mod chat about.
Yeah, like when you got kicked off of Discord, like that was ridiculous because we were talking the day before.
Yeah, so I got kicked off of Discord, and then I was like, well, when I get to college, I'm getting back on, and we're starting a podcast, and then we actually did it, and I was like, oh, cool. And like now my parents are fine with it because I'm like, I'm an adult, it's fine, we're chilling, but. Good.
Yeah,
it's still.
Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do from here anyway. If I was dangerous, I'm literally in Scotland. I'm not gonna get there very quickly, am I?
I will run away.
Yeah,
yeah.
Man,
it was kind of funny because
like...
I remember when we first started talking like on voice call and that, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, you're so Scottish," and I'm like, I don't hear it,
bro.
See, it's gotten to the point where I almost don't hear it. Like,
yeah,
but I'm just that used to it because we recorded so many episodes. How many? Okay, hold up. I want to add up exactly how many hours of TNC content there are.
A lot.
Y'all can keep talking, but because this could take a second. But
maths, man.
I'm gonna type it all in and find out.
While you're doing that, I've been working on a little side project for TNC that I think I should probably let you guys in on now.
Yeah, we are not aware of this right now.
I'm not aware of this.
It's called TNC Tech, and essentially I want to do like a YouTube like techno show, kind of like FPT and kind of like TechLinked, except with our spin on it.
Mm-hmm. Our brand where we say "Don't sue us" every 5 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. No. So I've been working on that a little bit. Just making some aspects of it. So, at some point, we should record one of those as well.
Yeah, I actually remember when we first started as well. We were trying to find out when we wanted to record, like how many times. Like I think initially our idea, I don't know what we initially wanted to do. I think we wanted to record every week, and then we decided on bi-weekly.
Oh, I'm so glad we didn't. I'm honestly still not sure that we shouldn't switch to monthly. Because I feel like sometimes we struggle to find content.
Yeah. Though I feel like now we're kind of good at improvising now. Because, like, I mean, no joke, we just, like, decided on the topic in, like, a couple minutes. And we've already made, like, how much hour of content? Like, we're already at, like, an hour.
We're getting close. Oh, this today? Hour 13 minutes.
Yeah.
Which does mean we should probably... Unless y'all have anything else specifically on the table.
We'll see, but I want to at least find... Probably, but I want to find out at least how many hours of content we've made.
I'm getting closer. I'm adding up the TNC lives
He's doing the maths. He's typing away.
This is an estimate, too, because I'm not doing, like, completely accurate here.
I want it down to the millisecond.
Okay. There are... This is funny. Before the release of this episode, there are... about 24 hours of TNC content.
Ooh. So we've made a whole day's worth of content.
A whole day's worth of content.
And that isn't including like the lives.
And that is including the lives.
Is that including the lives? Oh wow.
That's including the lives.
Dang.
Wow. Dang, that is a lot. What if we add the shorts?
You add like 1 minute to that?
That's what
24 hours in 1 minute.
24 hours in 1 minute.
Roughly.
Amazing.
But
yeah. That is amazing. Like I say, it's still wild. Cause I mean, I don't want to say I was pessimistic, but I know what we're like. We usually don't have things survive this long.
Yeah.
Like, ever. So the fact that we still are doing this, like, now, and I think we've been pretty consistent, because we have not taken, like, a week off, other than during Christmas, obviously. But other than that, we
established this specific break, yeah.
But after that, we've been really consistent with getting the episodes out, I think, in terms of, like, at least one every 2 weeks. It might be a different day, but,
For sure. Yeah. We should probably move on to the music segment at this point, then.
Yeah, we should probably do that. We should probably do that.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna let Sean, you and Ethan go first.
Because we know you're gonna be here for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I could be a hot second. So y'all move it.
Sure.
All right, Ethan, you go first then.
Let's take it away. So I got a few songs I've been listening to recently. One of them, totally like Shazammed it from a YouTube video called "In My Bloodline" by Ryan Gilmore, Gil M-O-R, or whatever, however you want to say it.
I would assume
that one's super dope. Really good. It's like rock. Another one. Kids, don't listen to this. It's by Jason Aldean, called "Go Woke, Go Broke." Let's see. Another guy, Citizen Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Utah native, so he's been making a bunch of awesome stuff on Instagram. Like, he's been teasing this song called "You Are Enough," and I just want it to release. Like he publishes like so many videos of this, and I'm just like,
drop it already, man.
Like,
I was gonna say, if you're to the point where you can make a bunch of Instagram reels with it,
just drop it. Just drop it already.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, just like, please, please, like, yeah. Other than that, I guess the only other one I'll throw in here before we let you take it away, is gonna be the song by Stephen Stanley called let's see, it's called "Note to Self."
Nice.
So.
Very nice. Well, I'm going to take the reins here, alright? And no surprise here, 'cause I think I've talked about, how many albums from Radiohead now? I think I've talked about 2. I talked about In Rainbows, and I've talked about A Moon-Shaped Pool. I've talked about those 2 albums.
Which one is which album has How to Disappear Into Strings on it?
Kid A.
Oh,
which
right.
is my favorite album of all time.
That How to Disappear Into Strings is
Into Strings is from the re-release, but technically it's from Kid A. But it's the re-release version.
Gotcha.
But it's still the same.
It's still solid. I love that song.
But the original as well, How to Disappear Completely, is one of my favorite songs of all time. It is just stunning. Absolutely beautiful. The whole album. But I've actually said this when we first started the podcast. I said, if we ever run out of stuff to talk about, I can talk about Kid A for a solid hour without stopping. And I am not threatening that. That is a promise.
I think we should have like a limit, because we can do like special edition episodes. I think we should do a special edition episode of literally just
Radiohead
about Kid A for an hour.
Oh, I could do that. Oh, I could so easily do that. Yeah, we're definitely doing that. At some point.
But as you were with this week's music segment.
Yes. So I'm going to top out an album. It's their 2003 effort, Hail to the Thief, which means it is actually 20 years old. I'm a bit late, 'cause it actually released, I think, in June of 2003, but whatever. It's a 20th anniversary this year of this album. And it came after Kid A and Amnesiac, which were like the 2 albums made during those sessions. So like they were made together. And then Hail to the Thief was their next actual proper album, like, separate from that kind of era. And I think it's somewhat underrated because, it's not as concise as Kid A or Amnesiac. It's a bit more like immediate. It's a bit more kind of a mishmash of stuff. Like, a lot of the tracks are electronic, like the gloaming and backdrifts. But then you've got like tracks that are full, like almost kind of more just rock. Like you've got the intro track 2 + 2 = 5 and A Wolf at the Door. But I think what this album did, which was very important for the band, was it kind of started to show like kind of that thing they did where they blended rock and electronics together a lot more, like overtly. Because they did that on OK Computer, but it was a bit more subtle. Here it is a lot more kind of in your face with like tracks like Mixomatosis and stuff. And it would then lead on to what I think is one of their best albums, In Rainbows, which would come after this album. But Hail to the Thief itself is like, it's not got the best like track list in terms of like, it's not concise, it's a bit messy, but it has some of their best tracks on it. Like, you know, it's one of those things where like, if you condensed it down a little bit, it would be a solid album. It's just, it's a little bit too bloated for, you know, most people's tastes. But yeah, it's just a great album. It's also the most political album, but you know, but a lot of the commentary still kind of stands up today, I think. But that depends on how you lean and so on. But yeah, it's just a great album in general. Like I said, my favorite's still Kid A, obviously, but I still say if you're interested in that, give that a spin. At least give, say, Sail to the Moon a spin, because it's like great. It's kind of that album's How to Disappear / Pyramid Song. But yeah.
It is time.
Here we go.
The time has come for me to rant about Unreal Unearthed, which is Hosier's new album that released 3 days ago. If you're not familiar with Hosier, his song "Take Me to Church" has over 2 billion listens at this point. If you haven't heard that, then I don't know how you haven't heard that. I'm honestly not even the biggest fan of that song, but Hosier himself is great. Unreal Unearthed is it's a concept album. Well, I feel like I should preface this by saying how long I've listened to this album. This album dropped 3 days ago at midnight. I listened to it at midnight when it dropped, and I've also listened to it for a grand total of 8.5 hours since it was released. I'm obsessed with this album. And
he's working shifts on this album. He's playing a whole shift's work.
Literally, when I'm walking somewhere on campus, or when I am like laying in bed, like anytime I'm still or not talking to someone, it's either like the New Creators or Hosier, like the two albums. But so Unreal Unearthed is a concept album based on Dante's Inferno, which, if you're not familiar, is an ancient poem about, or ancient epic about the protagonist's visit into the underworld, essentially, and his perceptions of that. And so it's heavily based on that. So a quick overview of the track list, which I don't generally do, but again, this is I don't want to say my favorite album of all time yet, because it's very soon to say that, and I could still just be riding the adrenaline high of just listening to it. But this is a very strong candidate for my favorite album ever. You have DeSelby Part 1 and 2, which are like very different, contrasting tracks, with Part 1 being like this very, very soft, melodic melody with like heavy lyricism, and then like the last verse is in like Irish, which is like super cool, and then like Part 2, which is like this massive like pop, like almost like 80s style pop, and like with like rock and bass, and like a very good fun time. You got First Time, or also I should also point out that the DeSelby Part 1 and 2 are kind of like supposed to be like the descent into the underworld in this Inferno comparison. You got First Time, you've got Francesca, which are very different. First Time's a lot more quiet. So Francesca is like this big soaring like rock anthem. Icarian is again really good, about like kind of like metaphor with like Icarus. If you know the story of that from Greek myths. Eat Your Young, which is like political commentary on war. Damage Gets Done, which is my least favorite track in the whole album, but it's still like epic, like rock anthem. A lot of fun. Who We Are, which is currently like I think my top streamed song of the last 4 weeks, and again it dropped 3 days ago. Epic rock anthem. Son of Nyx is kind of like the How to Disappear into Strings kind of this album. It's this like really experimental like piano and string instrumental that kind of acts as like a mid-album transition. Then after that, you have like All Things End, which is like very like gospel inspired rock with the ending in like this big massive like gospel choir sound. To Someone from a Warm Climate has some of the most beautiful lyrics I have ever heard written. Great, very very beautiful song. Butcher Tongue, very similar, like very great, beautiful lyrics to that. Anything But is like this like weird thing that's like I've never heard before. It's like this like fun like Irish like folk sounding like jolly old song. It's kind of fun.
So basically what you're saying is like Galway Girl by Ed Sheeran, but if it was good.
I don't even believe I've heard that song. I have
Don't.
Ed Sheeran
Do not listen to it. Do not listen to it.
I will not. But then you've got Abstract, which is like great. It's got like a metaphor for like roadkill in it. It's just like really weird. You wouldn't think about like I could turn roadkill into like great album lyrics, but they're great. Then Unknown, which is like that song is excellent lyricism and possibly the best bridge of any song ever. And then that's kind of like all of those tracks that I just listed are kind of like what you're supposed to do like in like the 9 circles of the underworld. And then you have First Light, which is the like one of the most euphoric experiences I've ever had was like listening to that when it first released. It is like it's the ascent. It's supposed to be like the ascent from the underworld back into the overworld, and it is like the most like tangible experience of a sunrise in song form. Like epic rock ballad with like massive string sections and electric guitar and absolutely like euphoric. It is most excellent. But yeah, I cannot recommend this album enough. I can't stop listening to it enough. When the day the album dropped was the most streamed day that Hozier has ever had. Like he received more streams on that day than he ever had, and it's rightfully so because it's a great album. I highly recommend listening to it.
Yeah.
Dang.
All right.
It was quite funny because when we were just before we started the podcast, I joined the channel and you just like said, Sean, you're listening to this song right now, and he played the outro track just like in the channel, just like you're listening to this right now before we start the episode. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I've not heard the whole thing yet, but it sounds pretty good from what I've heard of it so far. I
really I'm much more of like the like soaring rock anthems kind of guy. Like that's generally like kind of what I prefer. But like even the quieter songs from this album, like De Selby, Part 1, I Carry In, like even some of those tracks are just like First Time. Even like these soft emotional tracks are like so well written lyrically that like I cannot stop listening to them. Like they're so good.
What is the De Selby part? The De Selbys, because there's 2 of them, right? Part
yeah,
1 and
so
part 2?
it really is one song. It really acts better as one song. Like if you listen to them back to back, there's like a seamless transition into the next one, and they like fade into one another. But yeah, it's really good. It's really solid. There's also like it's impossible for me to like fully interpret like what entirely the album is about. It feels like a breakup album. It's like a lot about like love and loss from his perspective, I think. But it's just so good. You can digest. If you look on like Genius Lyrics, like the interpretations for his lyrics are insane. Like the amount of literary comparisons he draws and metaphors he uses, like it's so good. He may be the best songwriter, I think, maybe of our generation in terms of lyrics, at least, because there's so many layers. It's crazy to unpack. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Is that one dead?
Okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with that.
He's got it out of his system for now. I'm sure he'll be talking to us more about.
Yeah, I literally have been talking to my friends about this for like consistently for the last 3 days since it's been released. I've been insufferable about it. It's been.
I was going to make a joke saying, and now his friends are starting to leave.
Oh goodness, not quite yet. No. I'm lucky enough to have friends here who appreciate Hozier. So
yeah.
No, I've been getting to rant somewhat, but
no.
Yeah. If you like concept albums, if you don't like concept, it's definitely there are some great standalone tracks, but it is definitely best listened to as a straight through concept album, just because it is like you start with the De Selbys and like kind of feel this like going downward, and then like by the end, like at first light, you're like rising and you feel like your body is being lifted up. It's great.
Wait, so what would you say are like the best standalone songs? Like First Light, obviously. and then we got the.
See, I don't even know if First Light is such a great standalone song because it's most impactful when you've listened to it at the end of all the rest of the album.
So, like, what are your favorite standalone?
My favorite standalone tracks are Francesca, Eat Your Young, Who We Are, All Things End, and To Someone from a Warm Climate. I think those would be probably my favorite standalone tracks. Those are good. I mean, again, I can't hardly pick either because Anything But is also amazing and Abstract is also amazing, and I don't know. I can't really pick. I mean, yeah. Who We Are, I think of the songs, a lot of this has been released as singles already. I think Disselby Part 2, Francesca, Eat Your Young, All Things End, and Unknown have all been released as singles. But as far as the tracks that are new on the album, I think Who We Are is probably the strongest standalone track.
Okay.
Indeed.
Cool.
We have been recording for over an hour and a half, which is
yeah,
cool.
and like 99% of it was about Hozier.
Definitely, all 99%.
I just have to say it because it's very rare that you're the one obsessed with something. I'm usually the one ranting about like something I've listened to recently.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I think this may be a very strong candidate for my favorite album of all time because like previously my favorite album of all time may have been potentially Now Not Yet by Half Alive, but this is Half Alive's lyrics are great, but I think Hozier's are I've loved Hozier's lyricism for a long time. Wasteland Baby is like just a beautiful album in terms of lyricism, but it's a little bit too quiet for me. And like the more like rock ballad style of Unreal on Earth is a lot more my style, and I think that's made it a lot better for me. Which is also one more fact. This album is like the most collaborative he's ever done. And
really?
Some of like the production, some of this production he's done it with people who've like Kendrick Lamar. He's done it with a guy who produced for Eminem, which is like really strange stuff. But it lends it a very unique feel.
See, the thing was, I would actually say that was wild. Like, I don't know about the Eminem one, but Kendrick Lamar isn't actually as wild nowadays because his newest album that came out last year, it is more ballad. Like, it's not like full-on ballads, but there is more like balladry to it than there was in previous work from him. So yeah, I can see why. And not just that, I mean, his most popular album is literally like a jazz fusion hip-hop record. Yeah. So it's not crazy to think he could then jump into other stuff like that. That's interesting, though. I didn't know that.
But it's really, there's a lot of, this is like the most collaborative he's been. It's the most loud he's been. Like it's very cinematic.
It's very grand,
It's cinematic. Yeah.
I almost wonder because like if it's so he like, you know, like he's done all this. Do you think it's got like spatial audio on Apple Music?
It's on Apple Music. It does have spatial audio, I think.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, wait. I don't know if it has spatial audio.
I'm so gonna play those on my HomePods right now. Download Dolby Atmos. Come on.
But, yeah, it's gonna be good. But
yeah.
I don't want to keep lossless, bro. Oh yeah,
it is lossless, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, it is good. But yeah, I can highly recommend that. I think I'm ready to wrap up the episode. Unless
I think we've got a pretty solid episode under our belts. I'd say a good episode 20. I think.
The 20. And one last thing. Thank you so much to everyone who's listening because we do this for you guys, even though we know we're not a big podcast audience. We do this for the community, and I think it's a lot of fun. So
I'm making a heart with my fingers right now. You can't see it because it's audio, but I'm doing it anyway. So thank you.
Big shout out to everyone who listens to us. Much appreciate it, and we hope get to keep doing this for a long time.
Yep.
You can find us on bio.link/TNC. You can find myself at michaelonly.com. You can find Sean at seanjw.com. You can find Ethan at ekmund.dev. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the New Creators Podcast. See you in the next one.
Au revoir.
Bye.